This is a recap for Friday, January 21st. In class today, we took some notes on how to take a word problem, let's say from a Quizzes or a Blooket or something that we're doing online, or it could be a test, like Plickers, and how to write down the necessary information into our notes in a format that will help us. So let's look at this first one. Amy drove to her mother's house, which is 204 miles away. If she took 3 hours, what was her average speed? So here's how we could write this down. We could write, let's go with red. All right, so we could write 204 miles and 3 hours. And then we could grab our calculator, do 204 divided by 3, and we get 68. So instead of writing just 68, we write 68 miles in 1 hour, or 68 miles per hour. Okay, let's try another one. If we had 4 gallons of gas cost $16.80, what's the price per gallon? And so we're going to write $16. The money is almost always on the top. $16.80 divided by 4 hours, and just make sure that you're writing the units. And then you grab your calculator, 16.8 divided by 4, and then I get 4.2. But what I'm going to write is $4.20 per hour. So that format really makes sure that we are sticking with the story itself. So then we ask, well, what is the price of gasoline in terms of gallons per dollar? So then we could do this. We could put 1 hour on the top. We could put $4.20 on the bottom as a denominator, and then on our calculators do 1 divided by $4.20, 4.2, and we're going to get that equal to around 0. We could round it to 2.4. It's 2.38, and so that 8 makes the 3 go up to a 4. And again, we want to know what this actually is. It's 24 hundredths of an hour, and for every, I'm sorry, not hour, they should have been gallons. That should have been $4.20 per gallon. So let's fix that. And let's go back up here, and same thing. This should have been gallons. So if you were thinking, why didn't he say hour? Why did he say hour instead of gallon? Then let's see how far. Yep, all the way. This hour was correct, and then right here I wrote hours instead of gallons, so we can fix that. And again, this is just an advertisement for why we write it down, so that we can go back through and trace it through like I did here and fix it. So this is 24 hundredths of a gallon for $1. So when we divide $4.20 by $4.20, we get 1. And so 1 divided by 4.2, try it on your calculator, you get 0.24. And we don't really need that in real life. We don't usually buy gasoline by the dollar. There's no dollar store for gasoline. But we talked about in class many times, you might have a $20 bill and say, can you give me $20 worth of gas? And so it would be this amount times 20, and that's how much you'd get. And then finally, we worked on number 5. Ashley needs to ride her bike to her friend's house. I'm going to actually pull a different tool out here to make this a little more clear. And we'll just go like this. All right. So Ashley needs to ride her bike to her friend's house. It's 96 miles away. She's riding at a rate of 15 miles per hour. She has 6 hours to get there. Will she make it? So we're going to put 96 miles down in our notes. But then we have this rate, and here's what's important, that we can take this 15 miles and put it over 1 hour. Because when we turn it into this fraction, we can then have a multiplier, and we can multiply 15 times something to equal 96, and then multiply that same thing by 1 and figure out if she has enough time, if she has that 6 hours. So on your calculator, do 96 divided by 15. 96 divided by 15, and you're going to get 6.4. So my multiplier, so this is equal to 6.4. So that means I'm going to multiply 15 times 6.4, and that equals 96. That means I'm going to multiply 1 hour times 6.4. So this is 6.4 hours to go 96 miles. She doesn't have enough time. The answer is no. She's going to take a little bit more than 6 hours. So then we ask the question, okay, then how fast would she have to be riding? So we set it up this way. If she wants to go 96 miles in 6 hours, let's divide this by 6 and figure out, well, how far would she have to go in 1 hour? So 96 divided by 6, that keeps this an equivalent rate, and that turns out to be 16 miles. So if she's going 16 miles per hour, she's going to make it there in exactly 6 hours. We then played a game that you won't be, if you're doing this from home, you're not going to be able to have access to, but you could do game, let me show you. You're not going to be able to do the exact game that we did, but you can use these resources to practice. Games replay. You can, if you haven't done so, you can do the Quizzes check. It's all very similar problems. And then if you do that, then and you put your username in with your name, then I can tell how you're doing. And then we played bingo. So that is our recap for Friday, January 21st.